Good afternoon. Welcome to our final professional development for this school year. It's been a fast, furious year of challenges, growth, and tremendous successes. Thank you so much for all of your hard work, your diligent effort to make things best for kids, and everything that you do every day that makes our schools, our classrooms, and our students successful.
As she said, I'm going to be talking a little bit about all the great things that are going on in the community, but more specifically kind of dive into some of the changing workforce needs.
This year, many of our state and community leaders have shared their thoughts about why CTE works and the value that CTE has for our schools, our community, and our nation. I hope that through these conversations, you've found something that inspires you, connects you, and helped you remember why you do what you do and why the work is critical. To close our year, I want to share with you that our highest value, the most important things are right here. Our value to each other, our value among our colleagues and peers, our value with the Board of Trustees, and with our community members, our value to parents and to students. You are a vital part of Washoe County School District's success today and in the future. To close our year, it is my pleasure to introduce our leader, someone who with her words and her actions has supported career and technical education, its growth, and its future vision over and over again. Please help me in welcoming our Interim Superintendent, Traci Davis.
So it's a pleasure to be here today because you guys are the worker bees, right? Like we do things in central office, but you are the people who directly impact lives and change lives of students. So of course, when you're the interim or the superintendent, the communication says you got to hit all these points when you go, right? So I have two speeches, right? I have their speech and then I have mine, right? So we'll do a little bit of theirs, but then we'll really get to what I really want to talk about. But I'm going to start with a little story because I think as Dr. Ryan spoke, like there's been many challenges this year and Lord knows there's been plenty of turbulence, right? But one of the things I can truly say is the balance to all that is students. When I think about the work that we do every day for kids, despite what happens at central office and what happens in the newspaper, teachers come to work, principals come to work, and they take care of our most precious assets, our students. So though all those things are happening, what I am so happy to say is that I know kids are taken care of because when I come in schools and I visit, I just see tons of learning. I talk to kids and ask, and they're so excited. So I just want to share a story with you that happened to us. I think Friday we were at WEA Scholarship Awards, and I was getting on the elevator, and there was a lady in a wheelchair getting on the elevator, and she didn't want to get on the elevator at that time. So she says, "I'll wait." And we're like, "Oh no, make some room, get on." So as we're going up to the room, right, Elaine says to me, "Traci, this is this kid." It was the most amazing story I heard. She was homeless most of her life. Her dad died when she was like, I think in 3rd grade. Her mother was strung out on drugs. And so you know the sad story, right? But the story really isn't sad because she will be graduating with a 3.8 GPA, right? And on her way to college. But what's great about it is when you see her, you would want to think, oh, how is she doing this? She has been her whole life in a wheelchair or crutches, right? And she's inspiring other kids that struggle, right, to get to the finish line. And for me, that's larger than any vote to be the superintendent, right? Or any money that comes down from the lawmakers, because that says that along the way, because we are a pre-K-12 institution, people care, whether it was a kindergarten teacher or the 12th grade teacher or the 5th grade teacher, like we care about kids. And think of how powerful that is for a kid in a wheelchair to have homeless nights and sleep on a variety of couches, can't walk. I mean, I got up and said, I am so blessed and so inspired because sometimes we just take the little things for granted, right? And this kid, against all odds, will get to the finish line. Like many of your kids who come to you, right? They're not perfect. I'm a former teacher, right? I got stories in my head about former kids, right? Like, oh my goodness. But we find ways to help and assist to get them there. And so the work that you do is very valuable. So I'll say thank you now, but I'll say thank you again, and then I'll hit the points that I'm supposed to hit. Then I'll get to what I really want to say. So I know that your theme is inspired and connected, but I think you are the inspiration to many people, to many kids, but really to central office too, because I think we impact kids, you change lives. We impact lives, which is good, but you have the blessing of an opportunity to change the lives of many kids. When we think about that, I just need each of you to know that the district is very much in support of Signature Academies and CTEs, and we appreciate the work that many of you do. And I know some of you have, there's something in my eye, so let me just, probably me talking about the kid, right? Because I get emotional when I talk about kids, but some of you come from a variety of backgrounds that may not be traditional, but you are of great value and a great resource to our district. So we are so happy that you are here. As you know, the state is committed to CTE, and there was an additional $7 million to CTE for the next biennium. Yay, right? More money. Yeah, that's something to clap about. We need money. $8.5 million allocated to capital improvements of projects for CTE at Reed and North Valleys to be completed by fall, and HUG to be completed by December of 2016. But even more exciting, we're going to have some Spark and Wooster renovations that are planned to expand on those CTEs. So for those of you who are in those buildings, that's like, yes. And I've walked into some of those old buildings and we're like, yes, we need some renovations, right? They'll continue to allocate resources for CTSOs for student travel, treating these opportunities as equal and value as we do athletics. We send teams to state, right, all the time. Well, we need to send our kids to participate in a variety of activities when they have challenges also. Sorry about that. Allowing flexibility to find creative solutions for such thing as teacher recruitment. Now we'll have an opportunity to think outside the box to get more people who don't take the traditional pathway of education in front of our kids. Some highly qualified people and skills. That's really important, because I'm gonna tell you right now, I don't know how to put air in the bike tire, right? And I've been thinking, I need to bring my bike to this school and see if they can help me out. One of those kids can teach me, right? But that's a value, because that's a skill set that particular individuals have. We'll continue to provide support through transportation, and we really are going to start looking at how we do a better job of that so it's equitable and there's access for all kids. And that's something that's on our list. We talk about it every day. We have to do a better job of that as a district. And then finally, just the work that you do in educational framework that works for kids, that work for parents, and how you support the combination of our families for kids to be successful, and the work that we do in the community and your partnerships. So thank you so much for those pieces. Now that's the customary stuff, right? I want to talk about education and what you really do. What you really do is disrupt poverty. Think about it. We always talk about college and career ready, right? Every kid's not going to go to college, right? I have a brother who is not going, he didn't go to college, and he probably makes just as much money as me, but he had a career. You are giving people careers who might want to take a different route, right? But that is a disruption to poverty. If you think about kids who don't see college as an opportunity, it's not a viable source, right? They can be a chef. I take this to heart because actually Chef knows I have a daughter, right? Now, I have to admit, she does go to a career technical academy in Vegas, right? And there's a lot of reasons why, but that was important because I'm not sure that my kid's gonna go to college. I'm not sure she's gonna like it, but what I am sure of is that she needs a skill trade, right? And so there are so many kids who might say, well, I'm gonna finish high school, but I don't know what I'm gonna do. What you're doing is giving them a light, an idea. Hey, I might not go to college right now, and I may go to college like 3 years down the road and take some classes, but what I have an opportunity to do today is go out and have a skill and make money to help myself become better. The most important thing we have is education, because guess what? When kids are educated, no one can take that away from them. The skills that you provide those skills, you impart such great knowledge inside of these kids. And there's some whippersnappers. I was at the night a couple weeks ago, and I put my hand in, and I was at the neonatal. There was somebody here, you were, right? I'm like, help me out. And I thought, holy Moses, I didn't have this opportunity, but how amazing is it that kids actually have an opportunity to simulate some of those things and have ideas that maybe they want to go that route, and maybe they do want to go on to college. Maybe they want to go on and get a trade. But whatever you're doing, you are doing it to disrupt poverty for some kids. For other kids, you're expanding their knowledge skill set, but you are making a difference, because what we do now pays off later in society. How many of you had kids come back and tell you, hey, thank you so much. I know you're all teachers of some sort. If somebody's not coming back and telling you something, come see me, right? They might not like everything, right? They come back and say, why'd you do that? But kids remember, right? I go into the nail shop and the kid says, hey, Miss Davis, were you my fifth grade teacher? I taught elementary. Were you my fifth grade teacher? They start talking about lessons that I don't even remember. So of course I'm like, oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah, that was great, wasn't it, right? But they remember it because it was so, I thought that was the timer and my 15 minutes was up, right? Just saying. But we make a difference because you never know whose life you're going to touch the moment you touch it, right? Because kids don't, when you're teaching them, they say, oh, thank you. You touched my life today, teacher. You're lucky when you get there, right? Right? We're lucky, right? But it's after they go on and they work and they value the work and the commitment that you have to give that to them. And they think, because I think back too, right now, I can tell you some of my high school teachers, I thought, man, I don't know how I'm a handful, right? I can't believe the teacher tolerated me, but she did. She found ways to engage me, and you do that every day, and it's not easy work. People think our kids come all neatly wrapped, right? They come ready to sit down and learn, even when they apply at schools like this, but they have issues too. They have things in their backpack that they bring, and every day you figure out how to get around those things in their backpack, right? So that they can get a skill set or so they can move forward in life. So what I want to say is, yes, you are amazing because you're doing something powerful. Anytime we can disrupt poverty, right? Make a difference for kids in the future, give hope, right? Give skill sets, send kids to college, and they're prepared, right? We are paying it forward for them. And sometimes we don't always get the accolades, right? Until later. But know that the work that you do is 100% most definitely powerful, makes a difference, and we cannot even say how much we appreciate it, right? Because I remember teaching, I don't know how many of y'all are struggling with lesson plans. How many of y'all sometimes struggle with those lesson plans? Unless everybody in here GT, right? I'm just saying. And how many times do you think you have a great lesson and then they don't get it? Like, right? Like, I thought they got that. That was an amazing lesson, but you find ways to go back and reteach it, right? Assess the kids so that they get that skill set, right? Praise God, my kid can cook eggs finally. I'm gonna ask a few questions when I go to her school, right? I was thinking she'd be baking cakes by now, right? But what you do is amazing. Don't let anybody ever say, because there's always days where people complain, right? And trust me, and I know, because I get them all the time. I figure this, think of how many kids you teach versus how many complaints you get, right? Overall, you're doing an amazing job because we can't please all the people all the time. But you are making so many kids happy. Don't be discouraged if one thing goes wrong or one parent says, oh, say, you know what? Okay, how can I work with you to make it better, which you already do. And then say, hey, here's what we are doing for kids. So with that, I'll say thank you for all the work that you do for kids. And this is the close of a year, and no matter what turns out, it's going to be amazing because people may change, right? Principals may change, right? But the kiddos keep a-coming and you keep a-teaching, and that's the constant to what we have in the district. We take care of kids. When we look at how we are today, we haven't, even though all this turbulence, things aren't bad in the district for kids. In fact, kids are better off than they were last year. And that's a testament to the commitment of staffs across the district and the work you do for kids, because you do that work in spite of the things that happen because you care about kids. Thank you for caring about kids.